bright future. Every student matters.
Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to begin with chapter 2 of class 6 English Grammar Nagaland Board, which is pronouns and kinds of pronouns. Now, we all know that pronouns are those words which are used in place of a noun. Okay? In a sentence, rather than speaking or writing a noun repeatedly, we use a pronoun in its place. We use the pronoun he if we have to talk about a masculine gender. We use the pronoun she if we have to talk about a feminine gender. We use it when we are talking about a neuter gender, and so on and so forth. Right? So pronouns basically are those words, dear students, that we use in place of the noun. There are in total 8 types of pronouns, and we are going to learn about each of those 8 types in this chapter in detail. Now, first of all, when we talk about the pronouns, as I have told you, in order to avoid repeating the same noun again and again, we use a pronoun in its place. For example, Robin bought a book. In this sentence, we can replace Robin with the pronoun he, and we can replace the noun book with the pronoun it. Right? So, a pronoun is a word which we use instead of a noun, and we can also say that pronouns are the substitutes of the noun. We use a pronoun whenever we have to avoid repetition with respect to the noun. Alright? As I told you, there are in total 8 types of pronouns. Personal pronouns, interrogative pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, possessive pronouns, indefinite pronouns, reflexive pronouns, distributive pronouns, and relative pronouns. So these are the different types of pronouns, and we are going to learn about each one of them. First, let us talk about a personal pronoun. Now, personal pronouns are those pronouns which we use in place of a person or in place of a thing. For example, if I say, do you remember our cat? She had kittens last week. Here I have used the personal pronoun she to talk about an animal since I'm talking about a female cat. If I give you another example, what is the shape of this table? It is a square. Here I've used the personal pronoun it to talk about a thing. If I give you another example, I visited Bhopal last week. It is a wonderful place. Here I have used the personal pronoun it to talk about a place. So basically we use the personal pronouns whenever we have to talk about a person, about a place, about a thing, about an animal. Now, in order to understand the personal pronouns better, let us look at a table. Now, as you can see this table in front of you, we know that nouns can either be singular or they can be plural, right? Also, we know that the nouns can be used either as a subject or they can be used as an object. Fine. Now, personal pronouns can further be subdivided into first person, second person, and third person. If we talk about first person pronouns, what are the first person pronouns? First person pronouns are those pronouns which are used for the person, singular, or for the persons who are speakers of the sentence. First person pronouns include words such as I, we, mine, ours. These are what? These are my first person pronouns because these pronouns are used for the speaker. Then we have the second person pronouns. Second person pronouns are used for those persons or that person, that is both singular as well as plural. So those people to whom you are talking to whom you are speaking to. Okay. So when I am the first person, if I am the speaker, who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to you. So my second person pronouns are you, yours. And in the Old English, we also have words like thee and thou. These are also second person pronouns because they are used for the person you are speaking to. Next, coming to the third person pronoun. Third person pronouns are used to talk about those people or those things that, are the third people you are talking about. For example, if I am talking to you about a third person, so that third person that we are talking about, that the speaker and the listener are discussing about, is a third person. And for such a third person, we use the third person pronouns. So I and you can talk about him or he, she, it. We can talk about him, her, its. We can talk about they, them, and their. So these are my different types of personal pronouns. First person, second person, and the third person. Now, as I told you already in brief, my pronouns can either be used as a subject or they can be used as an object. For example, I am talking to him. In this sentence, I is a personal pronoun which we use in place of a subject, and him is the personal pronoun that we use in place of an object. Right? I can never begin a sentence with him. Him is talking to I. Can I say that ever? No, because every pronoun has its place as a subject and also it has its place as an object. Therefore, this table that I showed to you at the beginning is what explains to us all the personal pronouns. When I talk about the first person pronouns, I is used as a subject if we talk about the singular pronouns, and the object of I is me. Clear? While when we talk about the plural nouns, we use are as the subject and us we use in place of the object. Clear? We can also use we as the subject when we are talking about a plural first person pronoun. Moving on to the second person pronouns, we have you, that is used as a subject, as an object in both singular as well as plural cases. Talking about the third person, as a subject, we use he, she, and it. As an object, we use him, her, and it. He becomes him, she becomes her, it becomes it. Right? When we talk about plural, for subject, we use they, and for the object, we use them. Clear? So this is how, dear students, we use the personal pronouns. If I give you examples, okay. So if I give you the example for the same, let's say she helps them. You see, I am using she as a personal pronoun in the place of a subject and them as a personal pronoun in place of an object. If I give you another example, he talks to me. Again, I'm using he as a personal pronoun in place of a subject and me as a personal pronoun in place of an object. Therefore, we ought to remember that table, dear students, so as to be sure of which personal pronoun is to be used as a subject and which one is to be used as an object. All right? So this I have already told you. The second type of pronoun is an interrogative pronoun. Now, when we talk about the interrogative pronouns, interrogative means question. So, those pronouns which help you to ask a question are known as interrogative pronouns. Now, there is one thing that you ought to remember whenever we talk about pronouns. There is a lot of confusion pertaining to the usage of pronouns and to the usage of adjectives. This is at times deemed to be confusing. Please remember that a pronoun is used as a substitute of a noun. We have learned that. A pronoun is used as a substitute of a noun, while an adjective is used with a noun as it modifies the noun, it adds quality to the noun. Therefore, in a sentence, if the word is accompanied by a noun, it is an adjective. And if it is not accompanied by a noun, then it is a pronoun. Look at the examples given in your book. Who spoiled my exercise book? So this is my interrogative pronoun who that I'm using to ask a question. Which is your house? I'm using the interrogative pronoun which to ask a question again. Whose is this pen? Whose is the interrogative pronoun? What are you doing? What is the interrogative pronoun? Whom do you want to speak to? Whom is the interrogative pronoun? Right? Therefore, we use an interrogative pronoun to ask a question about some people. Then we use the interrogative pronouns to ask questions about things also or about animals also. Clear? Now, I have already told you the difference between interrogative pronouns and interrogative adjectives. Let me give you an example. Which is your favorite book? And if I say, which book is your favorite? All right. You can see that in both the sentences, I'm using the question word which. In the first sentence, which is used as a substitute in place of a noun. Therefore, it is what? It is a pronoun. While in the second place, my word which is used with a noun to modify it, to talk about it better, and therefore it is an adjective. Clear? So we can use what and which as both interrogative pronouns as well as interrogative adjectives. If I give you an example with what? What is the work for today? And if I give you another example, what work have you done today? What is used in both the sentences? In the first sentence, it is used as a pronoun because it is used in place of a noun. While in the second sentence, it is used as an adjective because it is followed by a noun which it is modifying. Clear? So this is how we differentiate between an interrogative pronoun and an interrogative adjective. These are some of the examples given in your book. What is your plan is a pronoun. What plan did you follow is an adjective because it is modifying a noun. Which is the mail train is a pronoun. Which train is late is an adjective because it is followed by a noun. Clear? Next we have demonstrative pronouns. We have 4 demonstrative pronouns. This, that, these and those. We use this to talk about those things which are singular plus they are near to you. All right? And we use that to talk about those things which are singular plus they are far away from you. While we use these to talk about those things that are plural plus they are near to you, and those is used to talk about demonstrative pronouns, and we use a demonstrative pronoun to point out at the object or the objects that it is talking about or it is referring to. For example, this is my purse, that is my bike, this is my pen, that is your pen. These are my bananas. Those are your bananas. These are my books. Those are your books, and so on and so forth. All right. Now, again, we know that demonstrative pronouns and demonstrative adjectives are at times confused. How to identify between a pronoun and an adjective? It depends upon the position of the noun. We ought to remember that a pronoun is used in place of a noun and therefore it will not have a noun next to it. On the other hand, an adjective is used to modify a noun Therefore, it will have a noun next to it. Let us look at the examples. This is my book. In this sentence, I'm using the demonstrative pronoun this. How do I know this is a pronoun? Because there is no noun next to it. If I say this book is mine, here this word is an adjective because it is followed by a noun, that is book. Next, let us look at the example. These are woolen gloves. Here, these is a demonstrative pronoun because I do not have a noun next to it. On the other hand, these gloves are woolen. Here, these is an adjective because I have a noun that is placed after these. A noun that these is qualifying. So this is how, dear students, you are always going to differentiate between a pronoun and an adjective. Next, let us talk about the possessive pronoun. Now, the word possessive shows possession or belongingness. Something that belongs to you, something that is your possession, is shown with the help of a possessive pronoun. For example, this book is mine. Here, mine is a possessive pronoun because the sentence shows that the book belongs to me. So that is my possession. That doll is hers. Hers is a possessive pronoun. We bought this house. It is ours. Ours is a possessive pronoun. I gave him my pen. He has lost his. His is a possessive pronoun. So all those pronouns that talk about something that belongs to you or is your possession is represented or is known as a possessive pronoun. We all know that a pronoun is always used in place of a noun itself. All right? Possessive pronouns will generally come at the end of the sentence. But there may be cases where the possessive pronouns can even be used at the beginning of the sentence as well. For example, if I say, this is your pen, mine is there. Here I have used mine, which is a possessive pronoun, at the beginning of the sentence, right? If I give you another example, these are your cars, ours are there. Again, I've used the possessive pronoun ours at the beginning of the sentence. So a possessive pronoun can either be used at the end of the sentence, which is generally the case, but there may be specific cases when they may even be used at the beginning of the sentence. All right. Now again, let us understand the difference between a possessive pronoun and a possessive adjective. Again, possessive pronoun is something which is used in place of a noun, while a possessive adjective is used with a noun. Look at this sentence. This is not my pen. Here, this word my is a possessive adjective because it is used with a noun. However, mine is a possessive pronoun because it is used independently. There is no noun that is used with it. Okay? So, the difference between a pronoun and an adjective can always be learnt like this. If it is a pronoun, you have to remember that it is used in place of a noun, so there should not be a noun there. While an adjective qualifies a noun, and therefore we need a noun in that sentence after the word, and thus it becomes an adjective. All right. Now let us look at the table that tells us how and where do we use the possessive pronouns. Okay. I becomes mine, so your becomes yours. He becomes his and she becomes hers when we are talking about the pronouns. While when we are talking about the adjectives, possessive adjectives, I becomes my, you becomes your, he becomes his, and she becomes her. All right. If I talk about the plural case, we changes to ours as a possessive pronoun and our as a possessive adjective. You becomes yours as a possessive pronoun and your as a possessive adjective. And they becomes theirs as a possessive pronoun and their as a possessive adjective. All right. So this is the table that we need to learn on how to use the possessive adjectives and how to use the possessive pronouns.